guys, it's Jessie. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another video and another 24-hour readathon. You guys know I love doing these videos, they're so much fun, so I'm excited to bring you another one today. This one is just gonna be a nice little chill one. We're gonna be using the timer method. I'm not gonna be like losing hours and hours of sleep, and hopefully I'm gonna get a lot of good books read. I'm very much excited for this one. I'm filming an intro after. I can't remember how much I said in the first clip, but I did have a tentative TBR, but I think maybe I'll leave that as a little bit of a surprise for you guys so you don't get anything spoiled. But we're going a little bit mood ready, a little bit off of my June TBR which I was working on at the time, and yeah, without further ado, let's just get straight into it. Hello, it is currently 11:18 on Saturday, so we'll see how long this takes me, but I'm going to be starting the timer now. I am about halfway through All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, which is the third book in the Natural series. I did get further through it for a different video that I ended up scrapping, so I'm going to finish it off today. And there's something on the side of the book, I don't know what that is, I think that's from my cat. I am halfway through and I'm enjoying it so far. I'm finding the main character in this one a little bit more irritating than I do normally. Kind of reading like classic, not like other girls YA, if that makes sense, but I am still enjoying it and I'm excited to see where it goes. This is a very quick read for me, so I might just sit down and finish this in one go. I'm not too sure, but we will see. So I'm going to sit down and have a read now, so we'll start the timer and we're going to do it stopwatch method. I really hope, oh wait, actually Hannah gave me a recommendation for an app, so I'm going to get that app and we're going to do it like that. Bear with. Okay, sorry for our short little intermission, but I'm going to start both my regular timer and the app so that just in case I have a fallback failsafe if I accidentally delete the time again. So going to start our timer now. It's about actually 11:25 now, but third time, there you go, I couldn't hit it at first. And we're going to add a timer for All In on the app and we'll do it in yellow. Does that mean it's starting now? Is it going? Yes, I've started it, I think. Yes, there we go. That is what it looks like on the app, so I'm going to read now. I'm editing this back and I've only just noticed there is a spider on the wall behind me. I went through the clips because it like moves around a bit. It's not huge, but like it's not small, and I filmed that clip like a week and a half ago and I never noticed, so it was just in my room like behind me, like really close to my hair, and like at the end of the clip it just kind of goes like down the wall. Is it still there? Oh my god, like it's actually freaked me out watching it, like I can't lie. Stop it. We'll do like a little time lapse and you can see it moving around. Oh god, it's actually traumatized me a little bit, like it's giving me goosebumps. I cannot deal with this. Hello, it is a little bit later in the day. I have got changed, but it is the same day, though I might get changed back because now I'm too warm. I was too cold and now I'm too warm, so we'll see. But it is now about 10 to 3, like you just kind of saw, and earlier on today I got pretty far into All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I got up to page 304 and there's only about 370 pages or so, and I'm really enjoying this. I'm definitely much more sucked into this mystery. I think this is the most interesting case that we've had to solve so far. I'm really enjoying the setting, etc. So yeah, really having a very good time with this, so I'll definitely finish this off now. I haven't been doing tons and tons of reading because I am still working on my dissertation. I've got to do a literature review for the end of next week, so I'm kind of splitting my time. But I've also been listening to the audiobook for Unruly by David Mitchell, which is a non-fiction. He is a British comedian and he did a history degree, so he's doing a history book on the history of England's kings and queens. I did get maybe 20% into this yesterday before we started this challenge, but now I'm 3 hours and 40 minutes in. So in total I have spent 55 minutes reading All In and 42 minutes reading Unruly, which brings us to 1 hour and 37 minutes so far. So I'm enjoying tracking my books like that. I'm definitely having a fun time with it, so I am excited to continue on doing that. But yeah, I think I'm going to sit down and finish All In now. It is about to be qualifying at 3, so I will watch some of that and read, you know, in the gaps. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm planning to do, so I'll catch up with you probably after quali when I have finished All In and I can give a little review. Hello, so I have now finished All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I also did take a little bit of a nap. Besides the point, we're being chill, so it's fine, doesn't even matter. So I did finish All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and this ended up being my favourite in the series so far, which is so interesting because I think at the start I was starting to get a little bit annoyed by the characters, but that really dissipated a lot, to be honest. And yeah, I thought this mystery was so fun, definitely the most interesting one that we have had so far, and it definitely leaves on a bit more of a cliffhanger than the other ones. The other one's wrapped up quite neatly, whereas this one I think leads into the next book a little bit better, and I'm very, very excited to get to that next book. It's definitely taken a broader, kind of more, I don't know, ambitious, I guess, maybe direction, but I'm very excited to see it carry on. And yeah, I'm excited to see the conclusion in the next book, and I do think it's going to wrap up quite nicely and kind of tie a load of things together, which is very, very interesting. So yeah, this was a 4.5 for me, which is very strong, and I'm very excited about continuing on with it. I also have continued on with Unruly. So I spent, according to my little timer tracking app now, I can tell you I spent an hour and 29 minutes reading this and an hour and 3 minutes listening to Unruly. You can see the different divisions of where I've been reading the book. So obviously I have been taking some breaks, etc., but we are now on 2 hours 32 minutes and I am 4 hours and 18 minutes into this audiobook. So I want to pick up another physical book, and I did ask you guys over on my Instagram story which I should pick up next. So I'm choosing between Shark Heart, a love story by Emily Hadbeck, and a novel love story by Ashley Poston. I didn't realise these both have a love story or love story in their names, which is fun, and these are two of my favourite covers. This one's not coming up, it's coming up a little bit dull on camera, but this is like really bright in person, so I don't know why it's coming up a little bit more dull. I feel like they both are a lot brighter in person, but either way I am excited about both of these. This one doesn't come out for another couple of days, but I got sent my pre-ordered copy early, which is exciting. So this is Ashley Poston's 2024 romance release, and this is a release from last year. It's like a romantic story, but it's not a romance, about a woman whose husband turns into a great white shark, and this one's told in like non-conventional like formatting, which is exciting. But it was actually super close on the poll. It's been up for 4 hours, so I'm just going to leave it to pick now. We are at 52% for Shark Heart and 48% for a novel love story. So I'm going to be starting Shark Heart now. I don't think this will take me all too long, considering like how some of the pages are really, really spaced out. I actually don't think this will take me more than 3 hours or so, even though it's what, like 400 pages. However, I'm hoping to finish this today. I'm not sure whether I will start this one this evening or something else, but we'll see. So I'm very excited to carry on, and I'm going to start this one now. Hello, it is a little bit later now and I am heading to bed. If you can probably tell, I didn't read quite as much as I thought I might do, but I got about 50 pages into Shark Heart, so not too much, and then I did spend a bit of time still working on like my dissertation and also listening to the audiobook of Unruly, as well as just kind of like scrolling on my phone, to be honest. So not quite as much as I had anticipated, but also like I'm not bothered about it because I didn't expect to be doing tons and tons this evening, so that's fine. I am enjoying Shark Heart so far. It's already making me emotional. Like I really feel like I'm going to cry at the book, so I'm also kind of like setting myself up for that and like psyching myself up to be emotional about it tomorrow. But timer wise, I've been really enjoying the little timer app I've been using, but I did 5 hours and 2 minutes of reading yesterday, and I don't know how I can see it on the little app, but if I just scroll across you can see like this is where the time fell. Does that make sense? Can you see? I hope that works. But we did technically finish a book today as well, even though I was halfway through it. So decent progress, decent progress. So I will catch up with you tomorrow when we'll do a little bit more reading, but 5 hours on a day when I wasn't really planning to do tons and tons isn't too bad. So I will catch up with you tomorrow and hopefully I will be in focus, because I've just realised I'm not. Hello. I had a busier day than expected, so it is now like 5. I have been listening to a little bit of the audiobook, and there was also like the F1 on today, so I have been a little bit busy. I'm further into Shark Heart and really enjoying it. Like I said, I only read 50 pages yesterday, and I was a bit nervous to pick it up today because I thought that I don't know if I want something super heavy, but it is so readable and I love it so much. I'm on page 118 now, so I'm about 30% of the way through, and I just love it. I love it so much. Like, not to be dramatic, I think it might change my life, but I'll just leave it at that for now. It's just like so beautifully written and I'm really loving it, so I'm going to read it for a little bit longer now. And then I've also listened to more of the audiobook, so I've listened to an hour and 23 minutes of the audiobook and 53 minutes of Shark Heart I've read, so it's 2 hours and 16 minutes today. I don't know if you can see, that's kind of where we are at. And then timer wise, I'm on 7 hours and 11 minutes, which isn't too bad. We do have my cousins coming over this afternoon, evening, so I won't be able to read for a while, and again still do my dissertation and such. But I'm hoping to finish time released it, I've got 2 hours and 14 minutes left. So I do think that given I listen to it on 2x speed or 1.75 speed, that's only just over an hour. So I think maybe I can finish that today. But now I'm going to sit down and read a little bit more of Shark Heart until they get here. And yeah, I'm just having a good time with it. I love it. So yeah, I'll catch up with you, and hopefully in the next couple of days we can get a little bit more reading progress in. Good morning. I didn't update last night, but I did actually end up finishing Unruly via audiobook, and that took us with a little bit of audiobook listening this morning up to 9 hours and 19 minutes. So we're slowly making our way through, which isn't too bad. Kind of half the speed because I am splitting my time between dissertation and reading, but I'm having a fun time still. Didn't do all too much reading yesterday. I did 53 minutes of Shark Heart and then 2 hours and 56 minutes of Unruly for 3 hours 43. So you can see kind of at the top there, and then a little bit later in the evening, that is what I was doing for my reading. So not too bad, and I did really like Unruly in the end. I definitely think if you're not British, the audiobook might help with the humour. I definitely would recommend, like, if you enjoy David Mitchell's style of comedy, then I think you will like it. I definitely found the first part more interesting, like, than the latter half, just because I felt like that was the section of history I knew the least about, and he doesn't go super into detail. So like, if you know about history, probably won't be super duper interesting. So like for me, past Henry VIII I already knew a lot about, so I wasn't super as interested in as I was at the first bit with like William the Conqueror and stuff like that. But I decided to give it a 4.5, so that was definitely a very solid one. And then this morning I started the audiobook of All the Lonely People by Mike Gale. This is on my TBR for the month, and I was looking forward to books on my TBR that I wouldn't mind listening to via audiobook, so I picked this one up on Spotify. It is absolutely beaten and bruised because I believe both my parents have read it, and I don't know if they got it secondhand initially, but this is, I believe, like a kind of heartfelt, you know, old person creating a community type of vibe, and I just think it's going to be like a heartfelt, nice read. Again, I'm only about 5% in. I'm like on page 19 out of like what, 350. So yeah, hopefully I should finish it this readathon, but this isn't the priority right now because today I do want to finish Shark Heart if I can. So I'm not any further in, but I'm going to sit down and read for like 45 minutes. Now I'm thinking of doing like 45 minutes reading, 45 minutes dissertation. I did just do my 45 minutes of my dissertation, and then now going to be reading for fun, which is nice. It's like a little reward, and I'm going to try and do that all day, which means I definitely should finish this today if I can do that. We will see, we will see. I do also have a hair appointment this evening. I'm going to dye my hair again, so that should be also taking up a bit of time, but I might pick up a Kindle book whilst I do that. I'm not sure, but yeah, I will get on track back with reading, and I will chat to you later when I've got some more updates, hopefully. Hello, I have my new hair and I'm very, very excited about it, but I have been super busy with lots of my reading for uni, so unfortunately this is taking a little bit longer than planned, but it's fine, it's fine. I did end up actually finishing off Shark Heart. 5 stars. 5 stars. I loved this. I was absolutely obsessed with this. The writing in this is just absolutely gorgeous. I think the way that this is laid out as well is just like really adds to the story. And yeah, I've just really not read anything like this. I feel like this is such an excellent piece of literary fiction. This is a debut as well, which is absolutely insane, and I really, really enjoyed this. I thought that it was super, super unique. It made me tear up at parts. We took a little bit of a kind of detour in the second half, but I still enjoyed where we went. And yeah, I just thought this was an absolutely excellent story. It talks about family, it talks about loss, it talks about love, things like that, that it was just really, really, really excellently done. I just loved it to pieces. So this was definitely a solid 5 star. If you're looking for a slightly magical realism slash speculative, I guess, literary fiction, then definitely give this one a go. It's a reasonably quick read as well, because obviously of the way it's laid out. Yesterday I spent an hour and 44 minutes finishing it off, and then I read 53 minutes the day before and 32 minutes the day before that, so it really didn't take me all too long to read at all. I just had the most excellent time with it. I really, 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 really loved it. 5 stars. I was so happy that I did pick this up, and I know I was kind of feeling a little bit like, oh, I don't know if I want something super serious, but this was just so easily digestible, so I absolutely loved it. Then I have been making a little bit of progress through my audiobook, and I'm just like 50 pages or so into All the Lonely People. I read 42 minutes yesterday, and I've read a little bit as well today. I've read 20 minutes today, so again, not a lot, but 50 pages in, and I'm enjoying it so far. I don't know if I gave synopses, but This one is basically about a old man living by himself called Hubert, and he's kind of been making up this lie to his daughter so that she doesn't worry about him. His daughter lives in Australia. He's been telling her like, yeah, I've got tons of friends, like telling her all these stories that he gets up to with his friends, but actually he doesn't have any friends. He's quite lonely. And then his daughter is coming to visit in like 6 weeks time, I believe, and he's now like, oh god, I've got to make a bunch of friends to make sure my daughter's not worried about me. And I think it's kind of like a story of like humanity and love. It says, can Hubert Bird find the place where he belongs? So I think it's going to be very cute and very heartwarming, and I am enjoying it so far. We are also getting flashbacks to when he first met his wife, when he first moved to England, and that is so cute. I just really like it so far. So yeah, I'm very excited to continue on with this. It's not like anything groundbreaking in the nicest possible way, but like I'm enjoying it. It's definitely a nice kind of warm read. And then obviously I'm listening to that via audiobook, so I did want to pick up something else physically, and I did want to pick up something off my June TBR because we are coming to the end of the month and I've not read as much of my TBR as I would like, so I do need to kind of power through a little bit. And I decided to pick up Medea. So this is technically on my May TBR, but if you guys watched the TBR video, you know I kind of joined them together. And this is by Rosie Hewlett. This is her second book, and it's a Greek mythology retelling about Medea. Obviously I've only got about 24 pages in. I read about 25 minutes today. When I first woke up in the morning, it took me a little bit longer to read because I'm getting into like a Greek mythology story, and also I'd like just woken up. But yeah, this is a retelling of her story. I'm really enjoying the narrative voice so far. I really like the writing. It's also reasonably big text on the page, which I love. And yeah, I'm excited to go into this. I don't know anything about Medea's story, really. I don't think. It says on here kind of like a female villain, which is interesting. I'm very excited to see how everything plays out. It says fierce, powerful sorceress. I believe this is, you know, classic feminist Greek mythology retelling, so I'm really looking forward to it. And yeah, I'm having a good time so far. I'm only on chapter 4, but excited to continue on with this today. Again, I don't know how much I'm going to be reading because obviously my main focus is the fact that my dissertation lit review is due in on Friday and it is Tuesday, and I haven't actually started writing it yet. I'm still researching, so that's fine. I also do have plans on Wednesday and Thursday. It's fine. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. But yeah, I am just starting off Medea. Again, I don't think I'll finish this today, but hopefully maybe I can get halfway through. We'll see. And yeah, I'm having a fun time with it so far, and I'll let you know what I think. I'm going to try and do more than once a day updates because that's so poor from me. We will see. Hello, I'll probably talk quite quickly just because it is hot and I've had to turn my fan off so that I can actually speak to you and you can actually hear me. But I've got a lot of progress done today. I don't know if I showed you timer last time, but I am now on 19 hours and 4 minutes, and honestly I feel like that time has gone so quickly because I feel like I'm not super like making tons and tons of progress, I guess, in the books. I don't know, I think because I've done a lot of audiobook listening today because obviously I've been super busy, that the like speed of the audiobook is way slower than I would actually read. I've got up to page 227 in All the Lonely People, which is a decent chunk of the way through, and then I've also got up to page 254 of Medea, and I'm really enjoying both of these. This one I'm enjoying much more. This is like sitting around a solid 4-star, whereas this one is sitting around a solid 3-star. This is definitely super predictable. Like, it's a man finding friendship where I didn't expect to, blah blah blah, and it's about like loneliness and stuff, so I am enjoying it, and I'm listening to it via audio. And yeah, it's just a fun time. I'm just listening to it when I want a little break from like reading about like Middle East and foreign policy for my dissertation, do you know what I mean? So it's a nice little break just to listen to and play my little homescapes, and I'm getting really ahead on my homescapes levels, which is good. I'm doing very well. And yeah, overall I'm just having a fun time with everything that I'm reading, and that's kind of all my updates. I had wanted to read another, like I've kind of plans to read another like 400 or 500 page book, but I don't actually know if that will fit into this video because obviously I've only got 5 hours left. So I definitely think I'll finish both of these, but I might not like fully get to finish another book, so we will see, and I will catch up with you tomorrow. Hello, it has been a couple of days. I'm actually, obviously as you can tell, in a different location now. I'm actually on holiday in Wales with a bunch of my family, so I have had a little bit of a break from the readathon, slightly just where I was getting everything together and getting here and obviously spending time with people. But I do have some updates and I am determined to finish this in a timely manner. So I last checked in with you, I believe I was reading both All the Lonely People and Medea, and I've now actually finished both of these. So I'll talk about All the Lonely People first, basically about him finding his community. It talks about kind of grief and things like that as well. And I did enjoy it. I gave it a 3 stars. There were a couple of twists in here, or like plot reveals, that I did enjoy, that definitely surprised me, and I thought added a fun aspect to it. But besides those 2 kind of main details, it felt a little bit predictable for me. It just felt very, yeah, kind of like I knew exactly the plot beats we were going to hit. I knew exactly where the story was going, and overall I actually really didn't enjoy the way that this ended, to be honest. So this was a 3 star from me. Not a very strong recommendation, to be honest, but it was on my TBR and it's been on my TBR for a while, so I am glad I got to it. And then on a happier note, I also finished Medea. I really enjoyed this one. This was so much fun. This follows Medea and her relationship with Jason, and pretty much through most of her life. She is a sorceress. She's like the niece of Cersei, so it was interesting seeing Cersei in this book as well, briefly. But overall I did enjoy this. I give this one a 4.25. I just had a really fun time with it. I found it very readable. Sometimes I find there's a little bit of a prose barrier to Greek mythology and historical books where it's a little bit more harder to get into. But I didn't find that with this at all. I really enjoyed it. Found it very readable. I listened to this as a mix of audiobook and physically, though I think I read more physically than I listened to. And yeah, I had a really good time with this. Medea is definitely a complex main character. I don't agree with all of her actions, but it was really interesting to follow her and her journey, and I thought this was an excellent retelling. I really loved Rosie Hewlett's writing, so I definitely want to pick up. I believe she's got a Medusa book and she's got another one coming out in the next year or so, so definitely going to be picking up more from her, so I'm really happy I got to that. Timer wise, I don't know when I last gave you an update, but I did accidentally leave the timer running, but because of my hours app, thank you to Hannah for letting me know about this, I was able to work out that I am, I believe, 22 hours and 2 minutes in, so we have about 2 hours left of the readathon. My actual timer is saying 22 hours 52, so I accidentally left it running for 52 extra minutes. We will just read the 50 minutes and then catch up. I was debating what to read for this video because I have another book that I'm kind of halfway through for a different video, but I thought 2 hours, I kind of can't really justify that in this readathon because I don't like to double up on books unless it had been like 15 minutes. I also brought Night Film with me, but this one's a bit long and I know I wouldn't be able to get all too far into this, and then it would be sitting like half finished on my currently reading shelf because I don't have a video that I can fit it into in the next couple of weeks, so I would be waiting a while to pick this one back up, or it would put me behind on videos. So what I've actually decided to do is I'm going to be doing a reread, and I'm going to be reading Beach Read again by Emily Henry. So I read this when I first got back into reading back in like 2021. It was probably one of the first 10 books or so I read getting back into reading, so I'm really excited to pick this one back up again. I love Emily Henry's books. I've read all of her kind of like newer adult romances, and I gave Happy Place and Funny Story very high ratings. Yeah, this one was a 4 when I first read it, but I am excited to read it again. I do think I could increase the rating. This is my book club's book for this month, so I do need to get round to it, and yeah, I'm going to read this for 2 hours. I don't expect to get all too far in, maybe about 2/3 or so, I'm not too sure, halfway, who knows, but I will catch you guys when I probably finish the timer, just because I will just be reading this until the timer runs out now. But yeah, I am hoping to get this video done soon because I've been working on it for a while, but yeah, I'll catch up with you later on when we've hopefully finished. So to round out the video, I think we did really well. We read a very solid set of books here. I got, as you saw, only about kind of 1/3 to halfway through Beach Read in the time, but I have since finished it. So I thought I would recap, go through my ratings, go through how long I read each book for. I was really happy to be using the Hours app because I did leave my timer running a couple times, and I was able to use that to kind of like assess where I was time-wise and make the adjustments. But doing some calculations, I think I read for maybe 25 hours. I'm not too sure because my numbers don't add up, but we're just going to ignore that part. Firstly, we started off with All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I gave this one a 4.5 and I read this for an hour and a half, so not too long. This one I'd already been halfway through, like I was already made a reading, but I loved it. At the start I was not oversold on it, but this turned out to be my favourite in the series. I thought the mystery in this was definitely the most interesting. I love seeing our characters and I'm very excited to pick up the rest of the series and finish it off finally. And yeah, just really love these books. These are perfect for readathons because they're so bingeable. Then I listened to Unruly, the audiobook. I really like this one. I definitely think make sure you enjoy David Mitchell's style of humour, and I think if you aren't British or if you don't know much about him, maybe do pick up the audiobook because that is the best way to kind of like get what the kind of tone and voice is and stuff like that. But I thought this was very entertaining. I gave it a 4.25. The latter half, once we got into kind of the Tudors and stuff, I knew a lot more about, so it was a little bit less interesting because overall it was mainly kind of like a basic type of information. It didn't go too in depth, so when I didn't know anything about the rulers and stuff like that, that was very interesting. But when I kind of had studied it for GCSE and A level, it was a bit less interesting. So I would say if you only have a very baseline knowledge of kind of British history, then do give this one a go. But if you like have studied history kind of reasonably extensively, you probably won't find this very enjoyable because it is only like a kind of starting point of information, if that makes sense. But I listened to this one for 5 hours and 57 minutes. It was an audiobook and I enjoyed my whole time with it. Then we got to Shark Hearts, which was my favourite book of the video. This was a 5-star and I absolutely adored this. This is genuinely such a beautiful work of fiction. Everything about this I adored. The way it's laid out is so unique and interesting, and the story is just absolutely beautiful. This only took me 3 hours and 9 minutes to read because of the way it's laid out, obviously, so it was a pretty quick read for me, but I absolutely loved this one. 5 stars, potential favourite of the year list. I definitely think I could see it being up there. Then I listened to mainly but also read a bit of All the Lonely People. My calculations are saying that this took me 7 hours and 40 minutes. I think maybe because I was mainly listening to this via audiobook, I'm not sure, but I do think there is potential for me to have left the timer running slightly in this one. I enjoyed this. I definitely think it was a very basic story. There are a couple of twists here, but overall I definitely could see where the story was going to go. It wasn't very surprising or unique in that regard. A lot of the reviews kind of have compared it to other books that I haven't quite read yet, but I can definitely see them being kind of better versions of this. I liked it. I gave it a 3 stars. It was just a very solid 3 for me. Like, I probably won't keep it past the end of the year. It's not something I'm like desperate to have on my shelves. It's just a very middle of the road book for me. I didn't love how it like ended at the very end. I didn't really like that inclusion either. So yeah, a 3-star for me. Somehow this took me 7 hours. I don't even know. This was probably our biggest disappointment of the video, but like overall it wasn't bad, if that makes sense. Then I don't know how much I spoke about it, but we read Medea and I absolutely adored this one. This was really excellent. I really want to read more from Rosie Hewlett. I know she's got another book and one coming out next year, I believe, but I thought this was an excellent Greek mythology retelling. It was super readable and a really interesting story. I feel like we spanned a good amount of time, but it didn't drag on or anything like that. I didn't know anything about Medea's story, so that was really interesting for me, and I really enjoyed seeing other characters that obviously I've read other retellings for. This was really excellent. She's a super complex main character. Definitely do not agree with all of her actions, but like I can also understand her and I definitely feel very sympathetic towards her. She's like a really interesting main character. Definitely a little bit morally grey, and it was just really interesting to read from her perspective and hear a retelling of her story. So this one took me 5 hours and 32 minutes, which is kind of believable because I did listen to some of this via audio, and whenever I listen to audio it's slower than my general reading pace, but I gave this one a 4.25. I really had a great time with it. And then finally I picked up Beach Read for my reread. I got about halfway through and I read this for an hour and a half to bring us up to time, but I think actually probably I didn't even need to read that much of this because I think my time was slightly wrong. Anyway, I really enjoyed this. This actually got raised to a 4.5 when I finished this. It was a 4-star when I first read it. I love Gus in this. I am obsessed with that man. He is like my dream man. My favourite book boyfriends are Justin in Just for the Summer, Nolan in Checkmate, and Gus in Beach Read. They're my top 3 of like all time. Absolutely obsessed with this man. Like, please let him be real. I need him in my life. I love their romance. I love the banter. It's just really excellent. I don't think it's quite up there with her more recent work for me. I really did love Happy Place, obviously, and Funny Story that you can see behind me. They were more solid favourites for me, and the writing style in those two definitely feels to me a little bit different from this one and Book Lovers and Do Me on Vacation. I can definitely see a bit of a jump, a bit of a difference, if that makes sense, and I don't know how to put it into words. It's just kind of like a feeling it gives me, if that makes sense. I don't know. I still love this book. It's still an excellent book. 4.5. Loved it. That's what we've read in this 25 and a bit hour readathon. My average rating was a 4.25, which I think is absolutely excellent. Very high. Everything bar one book was like really excellent and a strong recommendation for me, so I'm super happy with all the books that we got to. But yeah, I really hope you guys did enjoy this readathon. Leave a little like beach umbrella emoji down below so I know that you've got to this point and stuck it out to the end. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a like down below. Hit subscribe and turn the bell to join a little club, and make sure you turn on all notifications. Then you'll be notified every single time I post a new video, and if you watch one of my other videos, there'll be 2 on screen now to pick from, as well as they're linked up in the cards from earlier. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!